Hi everyone, it's Adam with Miles Restoration, and today I've got what it looks like a mahogany dresser. It's actually not. It's got some kind of like imitation veneer with a similar graining pattern, but mahogany is definitely not that light, and it's got some kind of toner over the top of it, and it's got pretty badly damaged particle board sides on it, and I'm gonna try to repair all that and get it ready to paint. So a little bit of drawer surgery was necessary here. Um, I went ahead and tried to, well, I glued back the tenons first, and then after that, what I did was I filled the gashes in the particle board with Bondo and wood filler. Later, I'm going to stain the wood filler on the interior to match the color of the drawer. The Bondo looks like a total mess now, but it gets better. Nothing to add here. Just giving everything a cleaning with simple green. I've got 2 buckets of water to rinse in, and that's my process. I just make sure that I rinse off the degreaser really well. So I went ahead and finished leveling out that Bondo. I got it sanded flat enough to where I could put the final coat of wood filler on top of that. After I flattened the Bondo out, I went over everything with a 320 pad on my Mirko orbital sander, and I just tried to get all of the flat surfaces really well, and then I came back with like a worn out 220 pad that I had and got the curved surfaces with that, and just, the toner was really making a mess. You can tell whatever they used, it was really kind of coming off into like a powdered form, and it really is something that I would highly advise using a shellac based primer on like BIN, because you can kind of tell on projects like these that they're going to bleed through extremely bad. So I also went ahead and sanded the drawers with the 220. That was the worn out pad that I was talking about. It's actually a hand sanding pad. And also, I kind of leveled the wood filler that you saw me put in there earlier that I forgot to mention. Okay, so the drawers were 3 and 1/4 inch pulls. I wanted to go to 3 inch because obviously the dresser didn't come with all the hardware, and I knew if I went to 3 inch, I'd have a lot more options. This is just a Craig cabinet hardware jig. Pretty easy to use. Just make sure you clamp it down and tighten it up. Just some drawer masking here. Just use my normal 24-inch plastic. Okay, so this is BIN primer here. Just something to think about. You know, in this case, I've got some kind of imitation veneer or something like that, and they put a really heavy toner on it to make it look like mahogany. Well, in this case, this would probably be a good subject for something that's going to bleed. And using a quick dry primer will give that stain or dye less time to bleed through. So the spray looks pretty good here. I'm using a 1.8 with a C high solids cap, and I'm running about 7 psi of working pressure. Just a quick sanding on the primer here. So this is my go-to paint. It's emerald urethane. I thinned it by about 15%. Usually what I do is I mix up 20 ounces at a time. I'll go ahead and spray that, and then whatever I have left in the can, I'll subtract the amount of water that I added from the total amount of water that I'm allowed for 15%, and I'll kind of just go by feel based on that, based on what I think I need. Sometimes I won't use it all, depends on how hot or how cold it is. Also, the color is Aegean teal. It's a Benjamin Moore color, I believe. So I just went over everything with a very fine surf prep pad, gave everything a quick sanding in between coats. This is the hopefully final coat of paint, and I'm going to let it sit for a couple hours and put the hardware on it. I generally try not to pack things until I reach Rico time, but just depends on the situation and how hot it is outside. Sometimes I'll do it earlier, or I'll just wait till the next day if I'm not in a rush. So I guess while I'm, kind of showing this footage of me painting, it'd be a good time to add what I wish that I would have changed about this project. Probably the biggest thing being that there were two cup rings on the top where I didn't really see how deep they were, and I wish that I would have completely sanded them out first before starting because it required a little bit of off-camera adjusting after it. And also, I snapped a screw in one of these hardwares that was cross-threaded, and that's, you know, kind of annoying. But also, hardware are getting really expensive, and these costed like $8.50 a piece. But I guess it's worth it. It really makes the piece. Here's the finished dresser. Thanks for watching.